Birds belong in places like this, but they don't belong on buildings and facilities where they destroy the appearance or pose a serious threat to a healthy environment. The solution is Nixalite architectural bird control. It's the humane, effective deterrent to roosting birds. For nearly 50 years, these tough stainless steel strips have chased birds from every imaginable location. Get the original porcupine wire.
Birds take flight from Nixalite. Wow!
Nixalite of America. Nixalite puts birds in their place.
Birds take flight from Nixalite. When birds are in their place, in the trees and in the sky, they're beautiful creations as they fly. But on buildings and bridges, fences and ledges, it's much safer when they just fly away. Get the stainless steel protection of Nixalite, 'cause birds take flight from Nixalite.
Welcome to the Tool Shed. Today's show, installing Nixalite stainless steel needle strips, architectural bird control, the original and the best. Now, when you purchase Nixalite, you've taken one of many important steps toward removing roosting birds and their unwelcome consequences in a safe, effective, and humane way. This video will supplement but not replace your written instructions. Now, all that remains between you and a bird-free structure is the installation. And while it's true that installing Nixalite stainless steel needle strips is a relatively simple process, keep in mind that it's important to follow the instructions closely. Unfortunately, that's not what everyone does.
Well, instructions? I never read them. They're for dopes. How tough could it be to install Nixalite? It's sort of like billboard paper. You just put the paste on, you take it up the ladder, and you slap it up. Help. Really, help.
But with a little common sense and the right tools, Nixalite can be installed quickly and effectively. A tape measure, hammer, tin snips, and a Phillips screwdriver may be needed. And don't forget the drill. Using a template can be useful and help speed installation. Make them from cardboard, wood, or sheet metal. That's Nixie, the porcupine, with the Nixalite installation tool. Improper tools can damage the needle strips, but this one is perfectly designed for the installation task. And believe me, using the appropriate tools makes a difference.
Well, let me assess the situation here. You got a house to build, you got a helper, you got a hammer, maybe a nail. You whack it a couple of times, you know, keep doing that, and before you know it, it's time to move in. Right, hon? Honey?
It's true. The right tools definitely do make the job go faster. It's nice. It's nice. Oh, and you'll also want to be sure to thoroughly clean the area in which you'll be applying Nixalite. We'll tell you why later. Here's an important point. If you cut corners with Nixalite strips, your investment could be wasted needlessly. If you don't apply the right amount of Nixalite and in the correct way, the birds may eventually outsmart you. Keep in mind that the birds may move to someplace nearby after the installation. So, you might need to apply the Nixalite in these potential trouble spots as well. Look for nests, bird droppings, and of course, pesky birds in your area. Then, measure the application carefully so the right amount of Nixalite can be ordered. You'll find the information you need right here in the planning manual. The surface depth specification charts will tell you how much Nixalite is required for effective bird control. Here's an example of Nixalite being installed at a church in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
We have been fighting the pigeon problem here for at least 25 years. We have installed Nixalite, and I've watched it, and it seems to be very effective. Actually, I should clarify that and say it is effective. We've seen pigeons come flying up to it and looking at it, eyeballing it, and flying away.
The installation goes smoothly with excellent results.
I see a great potential for it. There's government agencies, buildings, like all sorts of developers could use this product. And it, like I said before, it does work.
Here's a point we can't overemphasize. Be careful not to guess or cut corners with your installation. It might just blow up in your face.
I'd compare it to unclogging a drain. The quicker, the better, I always say. There, you see, unclog. Oh, let me get a look. No! Oh, sponge!
Remember, we're on your side. We wouldn't ask you to do something with your Nixalite installation that was a waste of time or money. Because of the diseases associated with bird droppings, and there are quite a few as you can see, you must make sure that the area is clean, as I've said before. No dirt, grease, or bird droppings. You should avoid contamination from the bird droppings by wearing goggles, dust mask, and disposable gloves. In severe areas, complete body wear and respirators may be required. All areas should be cleaned with a strong soap and water disinfectant. More severe areas may require the use of a bactericide. Thorough cleaning is crucial because the scent of bird droppings will attract birds back to the roost. Remember, from a medical viewpoint, exposure to bird droppings can be dangerous. Protect yourself. Your health is important to all of us. When installing Nixalite, follow the rules on how much to use. Sometimes a full row model is needed. Other jobs may call for the half row models or a combination of the two, and many times multiple rows are necessary. Depth and specification charts will tell you what works best. By the way, you don't need to be wearing the protective gear anymore. Be sure to extend the Nixalite at least 1/2 inch past the end of the installation surface, ending with the tallest needle. From the center of the base strip to the outside edge of the surface, the maximum distance is 1.25 inches because the needles must extend at least 1/4 inch past the edge of the surface. Don't let the distance from an inside wall to the center of the base strip be any more than 2 3/4 inches. With multiple rows of Nixalite, maintain a distance that's between 3.5 to 5 inches from center of base strip to center of base strip, because birds will find a way to nest if the rows are too close or too far apart. Remember that above all, the success of any job depends on the proper installation of the correct amount of Nixalite. If there's too little, birds will find room to land. Too much and the spines squash together, giving birds something to roost on. Here's the best way to butt the strips together. Just be sure to keep the pattern going from the tallest to the smallest wires with no gaps. If you need to have the strips meet at a right angle, don't let this distance be more than 1/2 inch. So, from this point to the center of this strip is about 2.5 inches. Here's the pattern we recommend if there are lots of right angles in your project. Let's pause to remind you that if you need help at any time, call our 1-800 number and ask our planning department for help on your installation. They'll design your layout for you. Just send us your drawings or blueprints and we'll make recommendations to assist you. One solid bit of advice is, don't stretch or cheat with your installation. It could result in rendering your Nixalite incapable of performing properly, or even worse, dent your dignity.
What's the big deal? It's like sawing something off. You get a saw, you saw the thing, and oh, you're done.
After an unsuccessful attempt, this apartment location in Chicago reinstalled their Nixalite. And now it does the job it was made to do. The correct installation procedure makes a difference. Nixalite is simple to install on almost all surfaces. On masonry or concrete, begin by measuring for 6 sets of hardware per 4-foot strip of Nixalite. That's 1 mounting hardware unit at each end and 4 more spaced equally throughout. We recommend spacing of 9 1/4 inches between mounting hardware, but spacing from 10 to 12 inches is permissible. Mark where the holes will be drilled using a straight edge or template. Then drill 1/4 inch diameter holes 1 inch deep into the surface. Remember, the center of the strip should be in 1.25 inches from the outside edge of the surface. Put anchors in each hole you've drilled, then assemble the mounting clips with stainless steel nails. Use a hammer to drive it flush. The hook end of the mounting clip should face the outside edge of the surface. Now, using your installation tool, just slip the Nixalite strips into place. That's all there is to it. For wood, mark the surface as previously explained and assemble the mounting clip onto the stainless steel nail. Then, add the neoprene washer and hammer the nail assembly into the surface with the hook end of the mounting clip facing out toward the surface edge. Install the strips with your installation tool. For sheet metal, it's the same process, but you use a screwdriver to attach the mounting clips to the surface. You'll also need to drill or punch the locations on the metal surface prior to fastening the mounting clip to it. Assemble your mounting clip, sheet metal screw, and neoprene washer, in that order. Then, screw the clips in with the hooks facing the outside edge of the surface. Then, just slip the Nixalite strips into place. On a steel surface, after marking the locations for your mounting clips, Drill holes, each one being 5/32 inch diameter and 1/2 inch deep. Again, using the same 9 1/4 inch spacing. Put the mounting clips on a steel drive screw, add the neoprene washer, and drive it flush to the surface with a hammer. It's a simple process to repeat. Then just pull the Nixalite strips into place. Now for pipe, cable, and other suspended surfaces, it's slightly different, but still easy to do. In San Francisco's Colma BART station, we see Nixalite being installed on the artwork of Daniel Goldstein.
When I made my design presentation for it, the only question they asked me was, what about pigeons? So I tried some Nixalite, brought it into the studio, put it on the piece, and I really liked the way it looked.
It begins with the application of adhesive to the surface and also to the base of the Nixalite strips. Press it into place. Then, wrap the wire ties Nixalite provides you for such applications around the base strip and twist it tight with a wire tying tool that you insert through the 2 loop ends. The results can be effective, even beautiful.
And now I've got a piece of sculpture that is 100% bird-free.
Industrial adhesive can also be used to attach mounting hardware to just about any surface. A removable adhesive installation can be done by following the instructions printed on the container. Apply adhesive to the surface where the mounting clips are to be attached. Put the mounting clips into the adhesive, making sure not to get any adhesive in the hook end of the clip. Wait for 24 hours for the adhesive to cure and install the Nixalite needle strips as you usually would. Installation of Nixalite with adhesive clips is easy and, of course, removable. A non-removable adhesive installation is also possible using the same procedure we just described with one difference. After the adhesive holding the clips has cured, apply adhesive to the bottom of the Nixalite base strip and the installation surface. Slip the strips into the mounting clips. When it dries, you'll have quality bird protection like they have on these bridges in the Florida Keys. Even after 8 years of expansion and contraction, Nixalite is still doing an effective job.
We installed Nixalite on these bridges basically to keep out the pigeons and seagulls and anything else that flies on in there. It's made to keep the birds out, and it does the job.
Here's a special note regarding mounting clip placement for ledges 2 inches or less in depth, utilizing models H or W needle strips. This will be the one exception where the hook end of the mounting clip must face to the inside of the mounting surface, away from the outside edge. This model is intended for mounting on vertical surfaces only. The hook end of the mounting clip should face down. And for specialized and unique installations where hardware cannot be used, Nixalite offers an array of specialized clamps and brackets that are made to meet your specific application. Some of these include, but are not limited to, the Nixalite glue clip, ridge cap, and I-beam clamps. Call Nixalite's planning department with your specific needs. The spacing between strips is critical. Don't cheat, because while it may look right, just having the Nixalite needle strips close to the correct location won't fool the birds.
Once you got the right materials, you just get it up there so it looks good, you see? Just like this. I'm okay. I'm okay. This is where you want the fireplace, lady?
When your Nixalite is properly installed, it will continue to work for years. And that's more than we can say for some people.
Like I always say, any job you can walk away from is a job well done.
Good night. In no time, Nixalite will pay for itself in cleanup costs alone. But remember, successful bird control isn't hard. It just requires careful planning. See ya. And Nixalite, the original and still the best porcupine wire. Hey, if it's good enough to be recommended by the United States Humane Society, it's sure to work for you when it's correctly installed. Maintain a distance that's between 3.5 to 5 inches from center of base strip to center of base strip, because the birds will find a way to nest if the rows are too close or too far apart.
Good night. Guess that's a wrap.
Birds take flight from Nixalite.
Birds take flight from Nixalite. Wow!
Nixalite of America.